It's really nice working in here. I feel so much more inspired to get stuff done. I don't feel like I'm constantly having to tidy up before I start doing anything, but unfortunately I think Vlogmas took it out of me. Like, I didn't have the time to do the stuff I needed for Vlogmas and then tidy up afterwards, so it just became a bit of a dumping ground in here. But I feel fresh, I feel new, and of course with the sun shining, that makes it better. When I set up my home darkroom last April, it was all designed based on theory and not practice, because I have never set up my own darkroom before. In designing any space, I always think that you need to live in it and experience it and work out what you need from it and then reconfigure. My white drawers have become a bit of a catch-all for anything. The top drawer has various photography bits, the middle drawer is full of various paints and papers, magazines and things for scrapbooking, and then the bottom drawer is just anything else. And then on top of that, it's slowly migrated around the white drawers, so underneath, to the sides, and then on top I've got my my cameras and my spare canisters. Yes, I am messy. Utter chaos, really, and I just need to work out what to do with it. These drawers are going to be coming out. They will be going in the spare bedroom, which is now going to be doubling up as a little bit of a studio space for me. All my cameras and things are going to go in there. In here we're going to have some open shelving, which used to be in our utility room, so I'm not buying anything new for it. So what do we have? We have on the top shelf all my bits for sending off prints. Then we've got my film, my stash of film. And then this one here is not film, this is empty cartridges and things. I save all the blackout paper. I don't know why, but I feel like it's going to come in useful. And then we come down, and so this is my box of bits to scan, enlarge from my grandmother-in-law. Some bits and bobs over here, so my flower press, some random stuff, and my Instax film. And then down again, and we've got empty paper, negative wallets, empty cartridges. This is random movies and audio tapes that were from my grandmother-in-law as well, so I haven't yet had a moment to go through and see what we've actually got in there. Down the bottom is all my watercolour paper, paints, things like that. Other random paper. And then a cine camera that my uncle gave me, but unfortunately I think it's broken. I tried to use it, so we'll have to have a look at how that's going to go, but it was sat in his loft for many years. Over here on the table we have the enlarger, we have pencils, my cutting board, random scraps of prints, random used candles that are empty. For the desk, I want to keep this space as clear as possible. I do a multitude of crafts up here, not just darkroom printing, and so it would be good to have the working room rather than all the tidbits around. I do need some better lighting on the desk. If I'm working at night, which obviously we're in the winter now, so it's often dark up here, the light that's behind my head, so behind you there, means that my desk space is not sufficiently lit. I often bring my ring light up to work from here, but I want to make that a bit more of a permanent sort of feature, so that will be on the desk. It's a really strong, powerful light, so it's quite a nice one. It also has different colour settings, so you can have really like strong white light, or you can warm it up depending on what you're doing. That will also work when I'm doing video calls, because again, I end up being a face in darkness because the light is behind my head. My red light, my safe light, will come further up this end of the desk. The enlarger will be on the desk, but I want to move that over to that side. It was over here because of the plug socket, and I thought, I don't need to open the cabinet too much. As long as I can open one of the doors, it's fine to get the chemicals out, because that's where I store my chemicals. But it is frustrating. It's a nuisance, so having it over here would just free up the space to open the cupboards. You know, I can work around it, but why not just make my life a bit easier? It looks a bit messy, but it's so much better than it was. So the enlarger is moved. For the enlarger, I have a lovely zine from Camera Go Camera. and some lovely handwritten notes and my Pixelator. Pixelator! There are lots of books on the desk, but that's because I love books and I'm doing a lot of work related to books at the moment. I also like to do my digital work up here, so stuff on my laptop. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know whether I feel more inspired because this is my creative space, or whether my study now has certain negative connections in my subconscious mind. And then finally over on my shelves, it is just a mess. We have expired film, I have old coffee canisters that I wanted to turn into pinhole cameras, broken cameras, darkroom accessories, messy negative files, just so much stuff, and it's just driving me crazy. In the white cabinet behind me, this is currently used to hold any chemicals and my darkroom paper, because those are the bits that I really don't want my kids getting to, and that's going to stay as it is because it makes the most sense and I'm quite happy with how that works, so that is fine. I'm going to take the books out of here because I don't need books in here. I brought up the ones that are relevant to the darkroom, but I tend to do sort of troubleshooting and learning not in here. This tends to be more of a practice space, so those can go and join my other photography books downstairs. At the moment, I do have developing accessories that I reach for regularly, and then in here are my enlarger accessories, so the different negative holders, the focus finder, things like that, and that works really well, but everything else does not work well. Look, I've just got random stuff and it just needs to be better organised. What I want is to have my darkroom accessories, my developing accessories. So I think this one looks the most chaotic, but I think is going to be the best for me. On the top we've got paintbrushes. In here we've got all my cables for work. Film that needs developing. Notebooks, again more pencils and things. Darkroom stuff, so there's my tablecloth. Underneath is my dark bag and all the bits I need. Paints. This is actually one of my favourite things. This is all my scrap pictures that I want to use to test out paints and things. And down the bottom is my sewing kit. We've got my light box for when I'm doing scanning pictures. This box is now accessories for the enlarger, so there's my drying rack, and then behind it are the contact sheet things. I thought I would take this opportunity to show you what I got for Christmas for the darkroom. From my husband, I got an easel so I can now actually mark off my paper squarely. It is like second hand, it's got some nice rust marks on it from where it's been sat in somebody's loft, but it's lovely, lovely, lovely. He also got me an extension lead so that I can move the enlarger from that corner to that corner. And then my uncle got me a print dryer, a print drying rack anyway, so that I can not have my prints hung up on coat hangers. And then I know this looks like a mess, but there is a reason that this is here. It's there to remind me that I need to organise my negatives. And I'm very happy because Peggy from Camera Go Camera has sent me a couple of these, which she uses to note down the film that she's using at the moment, but that I would really like to use to make notes on the cameras, the film stocks, for all of my archive of negatives. So at the top, she's hand printed all of this. Let's see. Now we've got date, camera, shooting speed, film, location, developer, time, and that's wonderful. Brilliant. And then notes. Obviously you could use the note space to note down the images you've taken, but I could use that for anything, like talking about whether I've souped it or, you know, anything really. So yeah, so that's a job to be done at some point. Thank you, Peggy, for sending me those and for sending me little toys for my kids. That was very kind of you. I wanted to share some work of other people. Last year, I think I made a commitment to buying zines that other people were creating if I came across them when I had some spare money. That is, obviously don't always have the spare money to do so, but This year I'm adding to that, and I would like to purchase the prints that other people are making, having printed myself. It's really inspired me to go and look at the work that other people are doing in the darkroom and try to help them and to purchase their prints and to support them. I thought for this video I would just put in this little bit where I show you some of the work that I have bought so far over the last, so some of them I bought last year, some of them I bought over the last couple of months. And then going forwards, as I say, when I have a little bit of spare money, I'm going to try and support other people. I'm going to start with Kit Young. I've mentioned him in previous videos. I love his work. He's like a master of the darkroom. I mentioned him in my books video because I purchased his book as well, but I have one of his prints framed on my wall. I was able to afford one when he had a sale, but his are on the more pricier end just because the quality is so good. He is so good at what he does. Then I have this one from Pete. I always just say Pete because I never know his last name. He is PhotoPete11 on Instagram, but he does a lot of work with chemigrams, and I loved this one. I think it was from his Moonscape series, but again, this one's framed, also featured in my Art in the Bathroom video. Then I have a lovely set of images from Joris, who is in the Netherlands. These were not purchased. The first ones he sent me were a gift before, just as I was getting my darkroom set up. And then we did a print swap, which was for Halloween. So I have a few of his images, which I love. And then in the last couple of months, I purchased a couple of images from Prince of Darkness. I love that pun name. I got these two. They were in a sale that she was doing. She was trying to raise some money to go and visit her sister in America. Can't wait to get them framed. And then finally I found Dave Butcher, I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname, on Etsy when I was trying to do some research on other print sellers on Etsy. I thought these were darkroom prints, but I'm a little bit confused by the description on the back of it because it suggests somewhere along the lines that there's a digital file. So I think they might be darkroom prints but from a digital negative rather than a film negative, but I'm not sure. I'm just a little bit confused by the description, but anyway, I think they're very beautiful prints. So what I wanted to say here is, if you're interested in doing a print swap with me, if you make your own prints and sell them and you'd like me to talk about them, please just get in touch. Let me know, leave your link in the comments. I'd really love to go and check out your work, your prints. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you do with your darkroom, how you set yours up, and what you find works best for you.